Hi everyone, hello. How are we this evening? I'm just going to wait for some people to come on. I'm just going to get my iPad ready so I can read your comments for when I put it onto the stand. Hi guys, hi. Hello Meglet. Oh, is that Meg? Yes, must be. Hello Meg. Hello. If you'd like to introduce yourselves and let me know where you're from, I'd love to know. I'm Kerry from Kerry's Crafty Cars and Cuts, and I actually live in the Adelaide Hills. So that's where I'm from. So I'd love to know where you guys are from and coming in tonight or this morning, wherever you are, should you be on the other side of the world. Just wait for a few more people to come on, and then I will start doing my little spill. I am introducing the Chameleon pens. I can't even say it tonight. Chameleon pens. And just showing, hi, Miss Lizzie NL from the Netherlands. Welcome. Hello. Hello, hello. Hi, Geraldine. Yeah, I'm introducing the Chameleon pens tonight and just letting you guys, show you guys how they work. A little bit about them. I'm just going to go into basics tonight. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just the basics of how they work and how you basically can colour in. I'm going to be using a lot of colouring in pages this evening because that's obviously what we're all into. Well, hopefully you're all into adult colouring in. I certainly am. So yeah, I'm going to be demonstrating mainly on some colouring in pages. So I might make a start. I'm just going to flip the camera around so you can not see my face and see the product now. So here we go. So this is the initial pack. So this is the big 22 pack set that the markers come into. These are a recommended retail price of $150. They come in a display box that you can actually tip up when you are working with your markers. Obviously, because they're an alcoholic marker, it's important to leave them flat. So when you've finished, you can just leave them flat down there. There is a plastic cover that comes on as well. So tipping it up so that we've got easy access to all of our markers. Whoops. There. And obviously you can see all of the colours. So there's 20 different colours that the markers come in. The markers are really vibrant. They're very, very bright. And obviously we can tone them accordingly, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. It also comes with a blender marker and a detail marker as well. Hi Cara! Thanks for coming. And as you can see, there's plenty of colours to choose from. So you do have your primary, your basic colours. You've got your pretty pinks and your pretty purples, and you've got a lot of brown tonings for nature and greens as well. So hi Creative Creations. So it's a nice range. The colours are I'm finding a little bit limited, but hopefully they'll bring out more colours. But there's enough there for a basic person to start with. If you're a basic, if you've never delved into Copics and you're really scared to, they are so lush, Meg. They are so nice. My favourite would have to be the YG3. I can't get enough of the YG3 colour. Look at that. How cool is that green? And you can obviously see it a bit underneath as well. This green here on my peacock, and that's what I've been colouring in. Yeah, basic. Yeah, and you know what? I love basic. I love these because they are basic. My display thing keeps falling down. And they don't require much thought. So I'm a Copic girl, and I have been a Copic girl for about 3 years. But yeah, these are just so easy to use, and they're so relaxing because you can take your time using them. So that's the colour range there. They also come in individuals if you need to purchase them individually, or they come in sets of 4 as well. So yeah, so that's that. And then all of these, if you're purchasing a set 4, these come separate as well. They also come with some instructions, and these instructions as well are on the website. If you go onto the Chameleon website, there's lots and lots and lots of information and videos that you can watch and have a look. Alcohol, yes, definitely alcohol basic marker, Cara. Yep.
So similar to a Copic, but totally different at the same time. So the Chameleon is basically your, I wouldn't say it's cheaper, but it's a good introductory marker, and it's the closest I've found to a Copic. If you want to get it into alcoholic markers, but you're not too sure, and you don't want to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a Copic, then these I would definitely recommend as a good starting point. So the instructions are all really clear in your booklet that you get with your 22 pen. Are they expensive? No. Hey, look, this set here is $150, so it works out to be per marker is around about $8. But in saying that, an $8 marker can do all the different color ranges. So if you can see each color and the different color tones that one pen can provide. All right, so I'll show you in a minute how the toning color works, but you can tone, you put your blender in with your color, and then it obviously creates your tone. So as you color in, it gets darker and darker and darker. So it means that you can use one marker, and say, for example, with a Copic, you'd have to have at least 5 or 6 markers. So a Chow Copic costs probably around about $8, $9. So if you've got 9, I can't even do my maths. Yeah, so 9, what are 9 fours? Come on, 9 fours are 36. Yeah, so for one marker that you pay in the Chameleon range, that's $8. You're paying about $36 to maybe $40 to cover that color range for your Copics. So it's really good value. I have found them limited though compared to my Copics, and as I said, I was originally a Copic girl, in the fact that it's hard to stick to one tone because it does regularly change. But if you're looking for blending and a nice even blend, then these are perfect, and I'm loving them on the colouring in pages. I absolutely love them because some of the colouring in pages, they're so small that you can't actually get any blending and toning in with the Copics. So that, and I'll show you that in a minute as well, how you do them. So yeah, that's all of the different colours. Oh, what happened then? That was weird. And that's what you were thinking. Excellent, Tara. Good, I'm glad. So there's all a heap of instructions as well as to, you know, how you can adjust the color tone of your pen, how long, like the longer that you wait with the pen in the blender ink, then the lighter it obviously gets as well. So that's all the instructions in the 22 pack. Now, if you haven't bought the 22 pack or you've bought them singly, then you can also get all of this information on their website. It's all on there, which is really handy to have. And if you also go onto their website and sign up for their newsletter, they've also got a newsletter that comes out each month with a freebie stamp. So, yes, I'm getting there, Meg. I'm getting there. And so they'll have a digital stamp or something, and they'll have instructions on how to colour and how to actually get that texture. So it's really good information. Obviously, more information than I'm going to show you tonight. So anyway, Meg wants me to get into it. So I'm just going to put this up here. I've actually got a new stand. Woohoo, look at this. Look, whirly whirly. So I'm going to put this on my stand that I've got. Hopefully it works, and we'll see. Yay, it means I don't have to use my hands. Yay, 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 yay. Now, hopefully that's clear enough for everybody to see. Just make sure that I'm in kind of the right position. So this is my peacock that I actually did earlier today, and you can see all of the different color tones, and that was just using my YG3. And I would have used my blue marker as well. And then I've also probably used the yellow and probably a grey, and I would have used the black one as well. So just with those markers, I've managed to get all of that colour toning in as well.
So that's cool. So anyway, I'll put these back and I will show you how they work. If you've got any questions, please ask. It might be a bit delayed because I'm watching my iPad as I'm colouring in as well. So just move these away. So we might start off with this colouring in page here. Now when you're printing it off, I've done this on just the Quill 200 GSM cardstock. Don't find it too bad, but if I want a better quality colour, then I use a special cardstock. I use Express It Blend It card, which is specifically made for Copics and alcoholic markers. It's a lot smoother, so when you touch it, it's a lot smoother to feel, which means that the ink sort of kind of glides over and actually blends in. It doesn't actually sort of absorb into the paper. But just for every old day colouring in, the 200 GSM will go through my printer, okay? So yeah, so anyway, let's grab a marker. I'm going to start off with one of these flowers up here, I think, tonight, and we shall choose maybe purple. So I'm going to use the VO4 Deep Violet marker. So what basically the marker has is it's got a blending, don't know if you can see that in there, but it's got a blending tip. It's got a, if I can get it off, it's got a bullet point tip, which I love, and it's also got a brush tip. Now one positive about this that I do like is that it does have a brush tip and a bullet tip. It doesn't have the chisel tip like the Copic. I never use the chisel tip, so that's really good that it's got both sides, both those pen things on it. I will say too, the ink is all replaceable, the nibs are all replaceable as well. So your marker will never run out. Each little bottle, I think, is around about $12, and I think from memory you can fill it about 6 or 7 times. So it does last. I've been told by the supplier, because obviously I haven't used them long enough to know, but I've been told by the supplier that the designers have been working with these markers for 12 months, and some of them use them every single day, and they've only refilled them twice. So very, very economic in terms of an everyday marker in the long run. So what we need to do is we actually need to create our toning. We need to fill our marker up with blending ink. So we're going to choose, I'm going to choose the brush tip to start with. It's up to you what you use, whether you use the brush tip end or the bullet end. If you trying to work on small little flowers like this, then the bullet end is easy. Can we use them on top of, sorry, I missed that comment. And then if whoever wrote that comment, could write it again for me, please. So yeah, so you can use bullet on that one, and then these wider ones you may find it better to use with the other marker side, the brush tip. Now the brush tip does go a little bit fuzzy at the end, but that's a good thing. It's really moist, and it's kind of like a paintbrush. In fact, it's juicier than a Copic, which is something I like as well. So anyway, what you do is you just basically place your blending tube on top of your ink. You've got to hold it upright. So we're working with gravity here. So the blending ink is going down into the marker. So we hold it upright, and we hold it upright for around about 35 seconds. When I've started using these, I've found that a good 35 even to 40 seconds just to get your marker started is a good help. Juicier than a Copic. Yes, definitely, Meg. I love it because it actually feels like you're painting. It feels like you're painting with it. So that's a really nice feel to it. So doing it, if you forget how long you've had it in for, there's no problems. All you have to do is just try it on a thing. And you can see still that that's fairly dark. So we just need to keep on putting some old blender into it. It's good idea to have a scrap piece of paper with you as well at all times to work on, and also obviously to put your hand on it so you don't smudge your ink. We'll just see how we're going now. Okay, so you can see that that now is a lot lighter. So that's that one. It's almost the same color as your piece of paper. So we're starting to work from the top to the bottom and slowly and gently just weaving our way down. And as we weave our way down, if the color doesn't change fast enough, you can just color in the same spot so that you can get the same color tone for a bit, and then you'll hopefully get it darker. Can everyone see okay what I'm doing? Or is it a bit hard? Try to get the best video thing in. Now I think I've left mine in too long, so we're going to go back and do it again so I can really show you. Now we're working. So just working our way down. Probably not the best colour to start off with because it is relatively light, but you should be able to see. Might be a bit hard. Can you see how it goes from light to dark? It's pretty cool. We'll try it again. Now I'm just going to recharge this, so I don't recharge it too light this time, and I'm going to do the other one, next one, and see if I can get a better result. I'm still experimenting. I've only had them for a week, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'll just get some more, I'm just scribbling on a piece of paper right now, and I'm just getting some more ink out of it so you can hopefully see the different colour changes on this one. That's going to be better. And hence we can go back on this one too a bit and try and darken this side up. Now I got up my dark ink. Okay, so you can see there, can you see how it changes, like the colour tone changes oh so gradually? And then you can just continue. So we've used it for a while, so I would say we probably need to charge this again for about 10 to 15 seconds. And again, test it on your scrap piece of paper. It is a bit, like I do find it, again, compared to Copics, a bit time consuming because you've got to actually hold the marker for a while. But it's nice to relax and just think, especially if you're in front of the television, you can watch the TV at the same time. And if you noticed, I'm going in a side-by-side stroke like that, and that gives you a nice even colour through the through your colouring. And you can just continue like that. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, the brush tip, I'll show you the other side now, which is the let's colour these flowers in here, and I think I might colour them in orange. And we're going to start with our bullet this time. So take our chamber off. Oh, and also, I've just done it myself. Remember to put your cap back on. Can you colour over with another colour when it's dry? Yes, you can, Cara, and I'll show you that in a second. You can get other colours from it. If you do accidentally leave your colour in there and you put it upright, or you leave it too often, you just need to basically stand it upright and let your blender work with it, and you insert your marker, and that'll take the colour out of the blender as well. It's not too dramatic, so you haven't wrecked your blender. So choosing the nib this time, we're just going to really charge this up for about 35 seconds. Actually, while we do that, Cara wants to know if we can change the colour. I'm going to also charge my yellow marker up as well with the bullet side. So we'll set that one there. They do stand too if you've actually got a good steady hand. My other one stood, but this one's not going to stand. Whoops. Alright, we might have to work with two. So just testing this one off now. Okay, so that's well and truly light. So I just want to get some colour out of that because I've blended it for too long. And you can see as I'm going down, hopefully, that it's actually changing colour. It gets darker and 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 darker. So you can see there how the colour tone, that's out of one marker. So easy. Let's just recharge this. And we're going to colour in with this one, I reckon. I'm obviously leaving these a bit too long because I'm talking and I'm doing two things at once. But I just want to show you. Alright, so I'll start with this one here and we'll just colour through on this one. Finding it a bit hard to see. My phone's in the way. Let's get rid of this one here as well. My paper. Is everyone seeing this okay and what I'm doing? Is it making all sense and you can see everything happening? Hope so. It's a bit hard. Thanks for the love hearts too, guys. So I just need to charge that one up a bit. What? I'll go back to that one in a sec. I've got my hands full now. It is great, Meg. It takes a bit of time, as I said. Like, you're watching real life here. And it does take a bit of time. You can actually see colour tone. Now I'm going to colour out some of that. And I'm going to add in a bit of colour around the edge. And I might put my lid quickly back on that one. I'll get the orange out again in a second. But I'll finish off with, where was I up to with this one? Now if you take your marker off, the blending ink does actually come out. So you do sometimes, if you forget about it, you do actually have to go back in and put it into the blending tank chamber to actually get it to a lighter colour again. So I'm just going to try and get some texture in here. Alright, so I'm going to go back in with my orange in a minute. So what I wanted to show you, okay, so that's the plain orange one and that's the plain yellow one. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my orange on top of my yellow and then you'll notice the change of colour. While I'm charging it, this one here, okay, so I coloured in my little boy yesterday, so cute, this little soccer boy. But on that one, I've got the skin tone that they recommend, which is the NU3, which is that one. And then on top of it, I've just dabbed my red marker that's obviously been in the blending chamber. So yeah, really nice blend, and it's only 2 markers and you've got all of that toning in it as well. There's no fuss. Same with the, like here, I've created streaks with my, I would have probably used my BR5 And I've started off with creating streaks with that, and then I've toned it so that I get that light and the dark in there. So let's see how I'm going. I haven't been holding this upright, unfortunately, so we'll see how we go. Just got to scribble out some of it on the paper. Until we got around about the same tone. May need to. With the bullet tip, I tend to work in circles. It tends to blend a bit easier in circles. But then you can see with this one, try and get some more ink. Now I normally don't do this much scribbling on a piece of paper. It's only because I've been talking and doing two things at once that it's kind of created it. So now if you have a look, you can actually see that I've put the orange over the yellow and it's actually softened it a bit. Just a fraction, not much. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I'll do some green leaves now, I reckon. So let's have my favourite, which is the YG, and I'm going to do a leaf down here. Let's see, and we might use the bullet point for this. I think this will be easier bullet point. I actually prefer the bullet point. But then if you do have a wide area like that, then the brush tip end is really useful as well. Got any questions? Shoot them away to me while we're waiting. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to colour in the entire thing this time, from start to finish. And then just recharge my marker again. And just make sure that it's a similar colour tone to what I started off with. And just colour it back down into my marker. I don't know if you can see that, the colour tone difference. It's only very, very gradual, but it does kind of go from light to dark. And then what you could do is you could go back through with your darkest marker again and just take out all the colour completely until it's at its original peak, and then we can just colour in the outside. Like so. It's great, isn't it, Cara? I love them. It's so relaxing just sitting here as well. If you find that you've got a big area that you need to colour, you can just keep dipping your marker back in. So if I was to colour this in with, say, the brown marker, I can go in and charge my marker. Again, for about 35 seconds to start with. Give it a really good blend and toner together. It needs a bit more. So now we've got the lightest thing. So what we're going to do this time is I'm just going to flick the colour out. So flick the colour out down my stem to create kind of texture. Now I'm getting, see how I'm starting to get a little bit too dark? So I'm just going to recharge for about 5 seconds. Alright, so I'll show you there. So see how it's just slightly changing? So I'm just going to flick it in. So now it's a little bit light. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top and I'm going to flick it down further. So I've got a little bit more of that mid-tone. Just charge it again for 5 seconds. Check it on a piece of paper. And again go back. So it's then similar colour. And now I'm just want it, I do want it to actually get darker as I'm going down. To the very bottom. Alright, really dark down the bottom. Then I'm going to lift it up and I'll show you the finished result. So you can see I've got a little bit of light tone up there. I've got a lot of mid-tone and then it gets darker and darker and darker and darker. And as you saw in the middle, I was able to control that by just popping that back into the blending chamber. So that's pretty cool. You can also get texture. I won't show you how to do it tonight, but you can also kind of get textures with your pen. So what I did here was I just flipped over the darkest pen. So I used the BV4 and all I did was I went like that with my marker, and then over the top I then used this in the blending way from light to dark, and that created a texture. You can also use your blending marker as well to get detail as well. I'm not going to show you that. There are videos out there that show you that, but I'm not going to show you that tonight. I'm going to let you discover that yourself, and if you do need any help, then you can ask questions, and I'd love to do another Periscope. I'm just going to flick my face back onto you guys. So I'm back again. Has anyone got any last minute questions they'd like to ask me before I go? Because I've pretty much covered, I think, what I need to cover. But yeah, ask questions in case I haven't covered anything that you'd like to know. I'll just give you a minute or two now to do so. No more questions? No? Alright, well I hope you enjoyed my little show and tell on the Chameleon markers. And as I said, make sure you go over to their website and check it out. And also make sure that you check also my website out at www.kerryscraftycardsandcuts.com.au, because I do have the Chameleon markers for sale. They are on the website for $150. However, I do need to order some more in. So if you've seen the Periscope tonight, please leave me a PM on my Facebook page or email me at kerry_cards@internode.on.net. I'm losing my train of thought there. And in your email, just tell me that you have seen this Periscope tonight, and I will order some markers in for $135, including delivery. There will obviously be a pre-order because I don't have any in stock, but you just need to mention that you saw this tonight, and you can have the markers for $135 instead of $150. So that's a great deal, and that'll last for at least the next 2 weeks. So no more questions. I hope you enjoyed the Periscope, and I'll see you again, guys, soon. Bye.